Hi, in this video I will discuss on how to find square root and cube root of a number or an expression. Okay. Also, I will present some examples on how to solve an equation that has square roots. Okay. So first of all, square root, you guys know the square root of a number. Square root of a number is that number, right, that is multiplied to itself will give you the original number there. For example, here square root of 9, square root means there will be nothing on the inside that angle, meaning that there is 2 inside the angle. What does that mean? It means that if you have two same numbers multiplied to each other, then you can write just one outside. That's what it means. Okay, so the idea is, first of all, you should write the factors of 9 as the same numbers there, right? And if you can write that into the same number, if you have a pair, a product of the pair of same numbers, then you can write only one outside. This says 2, you need 2 of the same numbers to write one outside. Let's do this one. What are the factors of 8? So 8 is basically 2 times 4 and then 2 times 2. So it is 2 times 2 times 2, right? So you can write like 2 times 2 times 2. But this is square root. There is nothing inside the angle, means there is 2. You should understand that there is 2. Okay, meaning that you need pair of 2. So look at this first pair. From that pair you can write 2 outside the root, but this 2 does not have pair, so it will still stay inside. Okay, this is how we find the square root. So what you do is, first of all, you find all the factors of the number and then make the pair of the same number. If there is a pair of same number, you can take 1 instead of those 2. You can just write 1 outside, and if something doesn't have pair, it will stay there. Okay, all right, let's do 32. So what are the factors for 32? Let me show you that. So 32 is 2 times 16, and then 16 is 2 times 8, but 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. So basically it will be square root 2 times 2 times and then 2 times 2 times 2. So the product of 5 2's is 32. Now to find out what to write outside, what will stay inside, you just pair. So from the first pair you can write 1. For this one you can write 1 outside. From the other pair times 2, and this does not have pair, it will stay inside, right? So how much is that? It will be 4 square root of 2. So that is square root of 32. Does that make sense? Okay, now let's look at the example 4. It has x to the 6. What does that mean? X to the 6 means x multiplied 6 times. Let's see that. It will be x times x times x times x times x times x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is x to the 6th. Okay. Now, how do I? What will be outside then? Instead of that, you write 1 outside. Instead of the second pair, you write another outside. Instead of third pair, you write another outside. That is basically x to the cubed. So square root of x6, x to the 6 is x to the cubed. So can you tell me what will be the square root of 8 x to the 5th y squared? So let me write down here. So 8 is basically, we saw that already, 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. For x to the 5th you will have x times x times x times x times x, and y squared is y times y. So let's find out the pair. For this pair you can write 2 outside. You need a pair of same numbers or same letters, right? For x and x you write 1 x outside. For another x and x you write 1 x outside. This x does not have pair, this 2 does not have pair, but this y has pairs here. So that is times y. And what is left inside is 2 and then x. Okay, so now multiply that. So 2 times x is x squared, right? So 2x squared y, and the square root twice x is still there. So this is what we write. So this will be 2x squared y, because 2 times x times y is 2x squared y, and inside the root there is twice x. That's the final answer for number 5. Let's see the cube root. Similar to the square root, if there was nothing in that angle, we assume that there is 2. But if there is 3 given, then you will need pair of 3. Here we were looking for a pair of 2 same numbers, but here you will be looking pair of 3. Okay, so let's do this one. So what is cube root? Just write down cube root. And what are the factors of 8? 2 times 2 times 2. We will need pair of 3. So this is the pair of 3. So this is just, you just instead of the pair of 3, you just write 1 outside. Make sense? Okay. Let's do cube root of 16. So what are the factors for 16? So 16 is 2, 8, and 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. We saw that. So it will be 16 is product of 4 2's. Right? Since there is a cube root, you will need pair of 3. So this pair goes just 1 2 outside, but this does not have pair of 3. So it will still be still inside the cube root of 2. Make sense? Okay. Let's do for 54. So can you tell me what are the factors for 54? So 54 will have 2 times 27, and 27 is 3 times 9, and 9 is 3 times 3. So for 54 it will be 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. Make sense? Since it is the cube root, it will need, so to write outside the cube root, you will need pair of 3 same numbers multiplied to each other. So 2 does not have pair of 3 same numbers, but 3 has. So instead of that 3, you can write 1 3 outside. So 3, and then cube root of what is left inside is 2. Make sense? Let's do this 9. So what are the factors of 24? So 24 will have 2 times 12, and then 12 will have 2 times 6, right? And 6 will have 2 times 3. So it will be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3, and then x to the 7 will have x times x times x times x times x times x times x. 7 x's multiplied to each other. So since this is the cube root, you need a pair of 3. So it is 2 comes outside. This 3 doesn't have pair. So for these 3 x's, you write 1 x outside. For the other 3 x's, you write another x outside. So this x does not have pair. So it will be cube root of 3 and then x. Make sense? Now let's do some algebra of the square roots. Okay. Now let's write down exactly the same way. So this is equals to 9 is there. Cube root of 24. We wrote 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 for 24. 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 minus cube root of 81. Can you tell me what are the factors for 81? So 81 will be 3 times 27, and 27 will be 3 times 9. 9 is 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So it will be like 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Make sense? Now, so how do you write this one? There is 9, but instead of this pair of 3 2's, you can write 1 2 outside because of that cube root, okay? And this 3 doesn't have pair, so it will still stay inside the cube root. Minus. So how about here? You need pair of 3. So we have pair of 3. 3 is there. So 3 comes outside, and this does not have pair, cube root of 3. So what does that mean? 9 times 2 is 18. 18 cube root of 3 minus 3 cube root of 3. What do you get? Is, so it is like 18 oranges minus 3 orange will be 15 orange, right? 15 cube root of 3. That's what you get. Okay. Now finally, how do I multiply the square root? Okay, it doesn't have cube root, it has square root, but how do I FOIL this? It's the same thing. This is equals to square root of 5 times square root of 5 will be 5, right? Because it will like square root of 5 times 5. So it will be just 5. Square root of 5 times 3 will be plus 3 square root of 5 minus, now it's turn. Negative 2 times square root of 5 is negative 2 square root of 5. And negative 2 times 3 will be negative 6. So how do I write that? Let's write 5 and negative 6 will be negative 1. And 3 square root of 5 minus 2 square root of 5. You are subtracting 2 square root of 5s from 3 square root of 5 will be plus square root of 5. That's what you get when you simplify. Finally, we want to work some on some of the equations that have square root. Okay. So if an equation has square root, you will have to square on both sides. If an equation has cube roots, you will have to cube on both sides. Make sense? But before square or cube, you should write the square root by itself on one side and move everything non-square root on the other side. Okay? So here, only the left hand side has the square root. The right hand side doesn't have a square root. And only that term, only the term having square root is on the left hand side. If there was anything on the left, you would have to move that. Okay? So this has 0 like that. Okay. All right. So again, if you are solving an equation that has square root, the first thing you do is you keep only the square root on the left and move everything on the right side. On the first example, there is only the square root on the left side and other term on the right side. So after you get this, you square on both sides. You square on both sides, square on both sides. What do you get? You got 2x minus 1, because square and square root will cancel away, equals to 9. Now you want to solve for x. Add 1. What do you get? Is 2x equals to 10 divided by 2. You'll get x equals to 5. This is the answer you get for this. Now, after you do that, now plug in that 5 back and then see whether it works or not. Let's do that. 5 times 2 is 10 minus 1 is square root of 9 is equals to 3. That is right. Square root of 9 is 3. So this is the right answer. Okay. Let's do example 2. In example 2, there is a square root and a term and there is 0 on the right hand side. So to do this type of problem, always what you should do is you should keep only the square root term on the left and move everything on the right. In that sense, you will have to add x on both sides. You get square root of 15 minus twice x equals to x. Now we are okay to square on both sides. Square, square. What do you get in the left? It is 15 minus 2x equals to x squared. This is quadratic, right? Because the highest exponent is 2. To solve a quadratic equation, what you do is you move everything in one side and then make the other side 0, right? So let me add 2x and then subtract 15. So add 2x, subtract 15. What do I get is, cancel this, you will get x squared plus 2x minus 15 is equals to 0. Make sense? Now, because actually you got 0 on the left and the other thing on the right, but you can interchange those things. So I put everything non-zero on the left and 0 on the right side. Make sense? Okay. Now what is A? A is 1, B is 2, C is negative 15. Okay. Now you want to use quadratic formula. X equals to negative 2 plus minus square root. B square is 2 square minus 4A is 1, C is 15, negative 15 basically, divide by 2 times 1. So what you get there is negative 2 plus minus square root of 4 plus 60. Because see, 2 square is 4, negative 4 times 1 is negative 4 times negative 15 is positive 60 over 2. So if you simplify, you will get negative 2 plus minus square root of 64. This is 60. Divide by 2. So what do you get? Is negative 2 plus minus 8 divided by 2, right? So if you take plus sign, you will get negative 2 plus 8 is 6, right? Divided by 2 will be 3. And if you take negative sign, you will get negative 2 minus 8 is negative 10 by 2 is negative 5. So you got two answers basically, 3 and negative 5. Now you need to check which one works and which one does not. Okay, let's see that. Let's pick 3. What do you get on the question? So 15 minus 2 times 3 is how much? 15 minus 2 times 3 is 6. 15 minus 6 is square root of 9. That is 3 minus 3. So 3 minus 3 is 0. That's right. So x equals to 3 is a right answer. Let me plug in negative 5 for that. 15 minus 2 times negative 5. So it will be like 15 minus 2 times negative 5 minus negative 5. Negative 5 equals to 0. Do you get 0 equals to 0 or not? So 15 minus 2 times negative 5 will be square of 25, right? 15 plus 10 will be 25, and then plus 5 equals 0 because there is double negative. So it is 5 plus 5 equals to 0. So 10 equals to 0. That is not right. So x equals to negative 5 is not the right answer. So x equals to 3 is only the right answer. So basically, if you have an equation that has square root or cube root, so what you have to do is, after you get the solution or the root or the answer, you will have to plug back to the original equation and then see which one works. Meaning that when you plug in one value, do you get left side equals to right side or no? You should be careful on that. Thank you very much, guys.